So, if you've been on Earth long enough, you will know that attention is not love. But, Krishnamurti said that love is total attention. And obviously, the attention here, what he's saying and I was saying at first, there were two different types of attention. Anyways, this is just a thing on my mind today. And I was thinking, and I think there was a new Madonna album that just came out where she said, "Finally enough love." And when I saw that, my first reaction was, like, I thought, oh, she was saying finally enough attention, because I thought that was, in a way, her way of confessing the fact that she's always been longing for love and wanting to be loved. And as many people who seek attention, celebrities or people who want to be famous and be seen, because we want love, right? But we ended up just seeking for attention, and that's what we get, attention. But that is not love. And I think that is also what makes us really sad and miserable, possibly very miserable by the end of the day, when we've gotten enough attention, when we've had enough attention. That's when we realize that all those hard work that we put in to get attention, really what we wanted was love, but love was not included in the attention that's finally given to us. And I thought, today I wanted to share with you a really funny story that happened to me when I was maybe second year of college. So I was really fairly young then, and although I'm still kind of young right now also, but it was such a funny story. And so the story is this. I was getting unwanted attention from somebody, and it was a very tricky situation where, because of the position of the person and my position, let's just say that, and I was trying to figure out a way how to deal with it, because I didn't want to, start any drama where I was at. But at the same time, I was really very, very uncomfortable with the unwanted attention that I was getting, so much focus from the other person. And there was also obviously a kind of power dynamic thing going on. So what I did was that I stopped showering. Yeah, I know. I did that. I just did that. Like, I showed up every day. I stopped showering. And at least, like, whenever I need, I'm gonna have to see this person, I will make a point of not showering and not wash my hair and not, and wear unclean clothes, just appear to be dirty when I showed up in front of this person. And, it worked. Like, it worked. I think the other person went from, an intense sort of like focus on me and then always like sort of like looking at me and things like this to kind of, not that intense anymore. And anyways, it was a funny method that I used, but I thought it was so effective. And I even recommended to a friend. So at the time also, like, after this event, after this thing gets settled by me, just began to, I thought it was such a simple method though, but you just have to be somebody who is like, funny enough to sort of, who can actually do that, to, not care about your image that much. right, for your own safety. And I even recommended to a friend who was encountering a similar situation at her workplace, and she was like getting all these unwanted attention from her boss, and you know what? And I said that to her, and I said to her, literally, I said to her, I've had a similar situation, and if you try, just try to show up a bit nasty, like you show up kind of weird, and you wear like dirty clothes, you show up not showering, no makeup, things like this. I mean, the attraction could become kind of like appalling or repulsion, is that the word? Like, it could turn into that because you are showing up, in such a kind of like unattractive way. And also I was beginning to say things to the other person, in my scenario, to the other person, when I was, out for a really long time. And I was just like, I pretended I went missing from our meeting and from, the, let's just say, the gathering of everybody that I was supposed to be there, and I just went missing. And then when I came back, I just pretended that I went out to take a giant shit and came back like, yeah, right. just and that person was kind of, I see that person, they were kind of appalled and like uncomfortable at the same time. Yeah, so it worked. Like, things like this work. So I don't know, that was just my funny method. I just feel like it was such a funny story that I wanted to share with people. And anyways, and I told my friend that, she could try it because it's effective. If you just, you find somebody that you don't want them to be attracted to you, but they are attracted to you, you can try it. But she was just like, no, she didn't do it, and she was just like, only somebody like you could think of such a method and actually do that. And then I thought about, something else, like about unwanted attention, and especially when it comes to if you're a woman, and it doesn't matter, whether the attention is from, it really doesn't matter about who is giving the unwanted attention, like the gender of the other party. I mean, trust me, women are, they are not as, I guess you would think that women, the people who are giving you unwanted attention and who have this kind of like uncomfortable dynamic will be a woman receiving it from a man. But no, like, women are, yeah, they are, I wouldn't say they're just the same as men, but women can really do very similar thing, and it is a very energetic thing. It is really not about the gender. About this sort of situation, it really doesn't matter. I don't think it is really the gender of either party, but especially if you're a woman getting unwanted attention, it doesn't matter, what is really the gender of the other party. But anyways, but I was also thinking about how, sometimes we attract unwanted attention to ourselves, because deep down a part of ourselves actually wanted it. It's like how do I put it? It's like, I think it's almost like, for example, when my friend told me like she was getting unwanted attention from her boss, she was almost a bit like there was a sort of enjoyment in her telling me that. She was not entirely, hating that. And I think to be real, I really feel like sometimes we attract certain situations, scenarios that are obviously uncomfortable, and it seems like we really don't want it. But deep down, if we're really honest with ourselves, like there is likely a part of ourselves, even if a very small part of ourselves wanted that attention. It's like you want it. It's almost like this part is very unconscious part. And of course, I'm not going to like blame the victim or that kind of stuff. I just wanted to, be honest about something and really look at it and why things happen and what is it that's within us that need to be healed and understood, right? So I hope that I can be honest here, because I do think things like this needs open conversations. And from my understanding, from how I look at other people and myself, and I think deep down, when situation like this manifest, deep down there is very likely, I'm not saying it's certainly the case, but very likely a part of ourselves wanted that, attracted that, wanted that attention. It's like a part of ourselves wanted attention, wanted people to look at us and see us and appreciate us and admire us and see us as, beautiful, brilliant, sexy, whatever. We want the attention so much. It's like we want it no matter what, no matter how that is manifesting, how that could be manifested and how that will manifest in our reality. Because this unconscious part is it's with no condition. It's like, because it is an unconscious part and, and we don't have the conscious condition of, I want attention from this type of people. I want, and in our unconscious, we think attention is love. And we're thinking to ourselves unconsciously, I want, attention and love from whoever in whatever form, no matter what. But if we think about it consciously, we will think, well, actually, I would like to attract this type of person. And I want this type of people to have attention on me. And I want the attention feels this way, where it is a level of attention and appreciation, but at the same time, it makes me feel safe and it makes me feel respected, right? Like consciously, we would think like, well, yes, we want attention, but most people will want it to be in a way that is safe and respected and, a kind of a degree of attention that is being, in this sort of spectrum that is not going overboard. Most people want some kind of attention, but in a safe range, right? But I think when a part of ourselves is so craving for that attention, craving for love, craving to be seen and heard and recognized, then it's like the unconscious part is just like, I want it no matter what, I want it. So then it manifests in a way, because it's so intense and it's really, really hidden. So it manifests in a way where you get this kind of situation where things just really complicated. You don't really want the attention anymore. It's like a little part of you still want it, but then the most of you doesn't want it. Most of you feel like, oh my God, this is like getting out of hand. This attention is like negative, it's toxic, it's bad. It's when you feel unsafe and threatened and manipulated and controlled and being watched and being kind of surveillanced in a way. Very, very it can turn into very, very messy situations. So I was thinking about that, how when we attract scenarios like this, and I really feel like it happens to especially women, but men too, I think, attractive men too. especially when you were younger as well. I think when we were younger, we were more insecure about ourselves, really, and we want that attention so much. We want love, really, we want to be loved, but we ended up, craving for attention and also doing things and wearing things and saying things for the sake of attention. And then we ended up attracting very often when we're younger, very toxic attention, unwanted attention that actually harms you instead of, boosting your ego and make you feel good. And I think one thing, and I think women who get older often say this, like, the good thing about you getting older is that you don't really care about people, like what people think anymore, especially for women. It's like you kind of just grow, you grow into yourself, right? And then you don't really care much about getting all those attention and fixating on your image to the world as much as when you were younger. You become much more secure within yourself, and so the trouble of that kind of goes away also as women age. Women who are younger tend to naturally get more attention in general, right? So I guess that's the good thing about getting older. But I really want to say this and address this. It's been in my head today, that really, when you are getting unwanted attention from people, when you are finding yourself in this kind of situation where you're like, what is happening? Like, well, first of all, you really need to find a way to keep yourself safe. You need to be on high alert. This is not, it is not something that to be taken lightly about. And I think when I was younger, I think I appreciate myself that I've always, because I had a kind of sense of humor, so I always find ways that are sort of funny and humorous, like, way to deal with it. Because I have a weird side. Like, I can be like kind of weird and kind of like saying things like sort of like out of the blue and sort of like funny, but like kind of people kind of taken aback about things or the things that I did or I do, such as not showing up, not showering, or skipping meetings and letting the other person know, like, even though I wasn't, I didn't go to the bathroom, but I was just like, I'm letting the other person assume that I went out to take a giant shit, and just be like, be like kind of playful and funny about the situation, although it was a situation where I actually found, very, very uncomfortable, and I didn't feel safe in the situation. But I really appreciated myself that at that age, when I was that young, I was able to handle it with kind of lightheartedness and, without taking it to a point where it gets messy for both me and the other party, like to make it, because there's another route you can take where you can make it into a report, you can make it into something that's very serious, which takes a lot of time and effort, and it burns out your, energy, and it's just sort of like a lot of people don't go into that route of reporting and making it into a big thing, because it's like, because we don't want to dwell on things like this, right? Because there are so much better things to do in life than getting caught up in this sort of situations. And if you make it official, and then it can get, become just an energy drain, and it can make it worse for your life. It can be a great time waster also. So I really appreciate myself that when I was younger, that I was able to think of like really funky ideas and things to do to sort of make it to sort of deal with the situation in a way where it is effective and kind of funny and humorous at the same time. And hey, if you're watching this, if you ever encounter the same situation and if you're very young, why not try it? It's really funny. It's fun. I mean, it's fun to watch them. It's fun to watch your reaction, seeing you like initially as this sort of like attractive and beautiful and sort of like young and vibrant person, and you begin to show up as this sort of like dirty and saying weird stuff and kind of like a weirdo kind of a character. It's almost like, when you were playing attractive, you were playing a character, right? But then now you're like, okay, that character is getting me some to a place where it's uncomfortable. Okay, switch up. You can change your character into something like just like as if you're playing a character in a movie. You're like, you can be really creative about this. You're like, okay, now I'm gonna make up a character, and this character is gonna be weird and nasty, and she's gonna be like dirty, and she say weird things, and she do weird things, like I don't know, whatever you can think of, biting your nails or doing weird thing, making weird noises, or pretend that you have some kind of a muscle issue, whatever. You just play another character that is like, think of an unattractive character and you play that and see their reaction, and it's fun. I mean, it's fun to watch other people's reaction when you change character, just like that. Yeah, but so that's sort of the thing that I want to address about how, how if you ever find yourself in such a situation, how do you deal with it, and also what do you need to look at within yourself to see that all that attention, like sometimes also, and also I think women especially, it's like you're getting attention from somebody and you don't really like this person that much, but like the attention, it feels nice sometimes, and you didn't stop it. You didn't stop them. Maybe they crossed the boundary a little bit, and you didn't stop them while it was happening. You sort of let it slide, and then it gets worse and worse, and until you really get bad, right? And when we ask ourselves, why didn't I stop it when they first crossed that first boundary, when I first felt uncomfortable? It's like a part of you wanted it. Also, there's other reasons. For example, like you couldn't say no, you're a people pleaser, and things like that, couldn't set boundaries. That's another aspect of it. But I want to really stress on the aspect where a part of you wanted it, a part of you kind of enjoyed it also. A part of you kind of, took that attention, took that boundary crossing, took that kind of somebody coming at you as if they want you, right? As if they see you, right? They are seeing you, but they are not really seeing you. They're just seeing, your pretty package, whatever that kind of, that's pleasure to their eyes and their sensory perception, right? And you take that as love. You're taking that attention as love that you've always wanted so much to have. You're taking that attention to be something way more important and severe than what it is. You really need to see it as it is, which is just your image, in somebody else's projection. Somebody else has projected what they wanted onto you, and your image is reflecting back to them their perception of what they wanted in a fantasy way. It really has nothing to do with you and who you are, but everything to do with the other person's, what they want, what they desire, the image that that feeds them, that is delicious to them. It has nothing to do with you, really. And to really see that, all that attention that you're getting, and applies to celebrities, right? To see that all those attention that you're getting, it is not really about you. It's not really about you. It's about you playing that part, where other people are able to project their fantasy onto you. And what is love? And when you feel love, what is love? And love is really, the first step is care. Like, when somebody really cares, when somebody get to know you. I know maybe this is cliche, but really, if somebody really take the time to know you, to find out what you like, what you don't like, and what is your temperament, what is going on in your mind, and what makes you feel good, and they try to provide that and know that, when you feel care and there is a kind of sweetness in there, and that is something different. That is not just attention. And attention, I think we as a society in general, and I also think this is why young people are suffering so much these days, because we're so obsessed with our self-image, right? We're obsessed with people liking our images. We as a society have placed too much importance and emphasis on attention, on getting attention. Everybody wants it. Now everybody wants everybody else's attention. And everybody is paying attention to really themselves and how they present themselves to the world. And whether the way they present themselves to the world can get them the attention that they think that they need. They feel like it's love. It isn't. And what you get by the end of the day is just a sense of emptiness. There's nothing genuine there. It is just fantasy and images, and it's like, for example, I love looking at the images of Lana Del Rey or Angelina Jolie. Beautiful women. And so what? Like, I don't know them personally. You can look at them forever. It's like, this is what fans are about. It's like, yeah, so what? You don't know them personally, and it's not like there's no real, you can say through their work there is a kind of connection. Angelina Jolie, she has humanitarian works, and her films, and Lana Del Rey's music, right? Like, there is a connection there, but by the end of the day, it's like, what you're giving them really is attention. There's nothing, nothing really personal and deep about that. Although when we do connect with somebody's work, I think that is great, and that is, I do think that is real. That is real. For example, when a singer's somebody's songs being played in a video. For example, when I was in my middle school, I remember it so clearly. I was having such a shitty day that day. I had the worst test result, and I was feeling just so down about myself. And Selena Gomez's song "Who Says" just began to play on the radio, I remember it so clearly. It was at night and my mom was driving and she was just furious with me because my test result was so bad and I was feeling like shit, like, and just suddenly the song came on the radio and it went like, who says you're not perfect? Who says you're not worth it? Who says you're the only one that's hurting? Trust me, that's the price of beauty. Who says you're not pretty? Who says you're not beautiful? Who says? Like that song, it saved me. Like I was just like, yeah. Like I remember it forever, that moment, like that day. I was just like, that song kept me going because I was feeling so down about myself, and something like that, it was genuine connection, that was real. It was not just like I love this person and I love this celebrity because they have this aura that is so attractive. It's not. Anyways, I'm going over time today about this whole attention and love thing. But also, from a spiritual point of view, as I was saying in the beginning, Krishnamurti was saying like love is total attention. So what does it mean by total attention? Well, I will have to unpack that in another video. So because from a spiritual point of view, and it is true that love is total attention. But that total attention, spiritually, is obviously completely different from the attention that we were talking about. That is just somebody paying attention to you because they're projecting something onto you. The total attention in this case means that you are just looking at something without your own projection, which is super hard, especially when you're looking at another human. So I think that is the difference. Okay, maybe I won't unpack that in another video, but I mean, that is the difference. The attention that we're usually giving people, that we're usually getting from people, is a kind of attention where there is so much projection involved. Is the projection of the other person's fantasy, the projection of the other person's mind, really. But the total attention spiritual teachers are talking about, when it is love, total attention is when you look at something and someone totally, just looking at it without any of your own projection. It is all about the other person. It's all about the other object, whatever you're paying attention to. And not at all about yourself, not at all about your own projection. And it's very, very hard to do. Like for me personally, I think, because I have practiced some of this total attention thing, and usually the object, you wouldn't start with another person because it's so hard, person to person, to not project any of your ideas onto the other person. So usually you start with a stone, with a flower, with a fruit, something that's sort of, alive but inanimated. Stones are alive, peanuts are alive, apples are alive, but they are kind of inanimated object as well. So when you start with something like this, you give it total attention. It's harder for you to look at a peanut and project all over onto it. Like, oh, this peanut is talking to me. It is telling me about its life story. Oh my God. And it is forming a relationship with me. Maybe this peanut is female, or maybe it is male, or maybe it doesn't have a gender. Like, it is hard to do that. It is hard when you're just looking at the plain peanut and to be imagining so many things, even when you're like, if your imagination is as crazy as I am. But still, like, it is much easier to focus on a peanut or a rock. Just look at it with total attention without any projection. And I do think that is what it means, like what the spirit in a spiritual way, like what love is mean. Like that total attention, you're just totally taking the other in without any of your own thoughts and projection onto it. None of your wishful thinkings, none of your fantasies, none of your needs being projected onto the other person or object to be met. For the, there's the expectation of your need being projected onto the other object or person to be met by the other person or object, right? When you give a peanut total attention, you're not thinking, next moment I'm gonna eat this, so you can fulfill my hunger. Like, you don't think about that. You just give it total attention, and it's very, very beautiful. And it responds, the other object responds. When I had the peanut exercise for total attention, after I looked at it for a while, giving it total attention, I don't have anything in my mind. It was just attention, just looking at it. No thoughts. And my tears were just like flowing. I don't know why. It was a kind of communion, almost. A kind of communication, but really it feels like a communion. You feel like when you look at it, you pay attention to it for so long. Maybe, I don't know how long, maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes. It's like a kind of communion and oneness was happening. You feel like you were one with the peanut, and you feel it is so alive, and you feel it's some kind of communion was happening. And my tears were just flowing for the first time ever. Like, I've never had that experience before, but yeah. And then when I finally ate the peanut, the first bite I had, when I chewed on it, it crushed in my mouth. Like, it was such sweetness of the peanut. The sweetest peanut you ever taste. It just like never happened to me before. It was just such sweetness. It's just incredible. It's indescribable, like that feeling. And then when you swallow the peanut, it's like it became one with you, really one with you. It became a part of you now. It's such a profound experience. And imagine that if you can do that, the thing I did with the peanut, like, imagine if you can do that with a person, if that could happen with another person. Total attention, that's love, that's total communion. And when you embrace each other, like when you look at each other, and it's like, what will happen then? How much sweetness and how much profoundness, I don't even know, but just imagine if that's what could be experienced with a little peanut. Like, if we can place the right attention on people, on another person, but on people, if we can do that with everybody, with everyone, how sweet is that? That would be kind of an enlightened master kind of degree, I would say. If you can look at every person and have that communion happening, that total attention, that is love, without any of your own projection onto the other person. How much sweetness, how much love, how much inclusion, oneness, expansiveness, and an ultimate expansion of your soul, right? Of your being. How beautiful would that be? I will leave it like that. I look forward to the day when I could do that with everybody and every being and everything. Living thing, non-living thing, animate thing, inanimate thing. Like, I look forward to the day when I can really look at everything and just with total attention, without my own projection, and to be in communion and in union with everything, and to be in love truly with everything and everyone. it will be the sweetest, most ecstatic, most beautiful experience. And I believe that's probably gonna be enlightenment, because I heard that, they say that enlightenment is a feeling where you feel one with everything and everyone. So I look forward to that day, and I hope that day comes to you as well. It will. I know it will. Okay, so this is the long video on love is not attention. Wait, this is the long video on attention is not love, but love is total attention. Have a great night. Bye bye.